between language barriers and work ethic, how do you get the best out of your average fielders as a fielding coach?
Well, I think what I try and do is if I tell the players, I'm not marking them on balls that they were dropped or balls that were missed. I'm watching on balls that they didn't make an effort for. So my whole philosophy, no matter what language you're speaking, is that if you don't go for it, you'll never know. So if you don't go, you'll never know. And that's always been my philosophy. I'd rather dive and miss the ball and stand there after the game and think, if I had, could I have saved it? So then that's fortunately most of the players, when they were growing up, they were youngsters watching me field. So they know that that philosophy does work.
Do you think T20 has been a driving force in raising the fielding standards?
I really believe that the fielding standard everywhere, not just in India, I think everywhere around the world. In fact, all the cricketing skills, batting, bowling, and especially fielding, have been heavily influenced by T20 cricket. So, people were very critical when it first came, said hit and giggle, it's going to ruin Test cricket. But I think the skills of individual players have certainly been raised, and especially fielding. We now know that you can't be a fast bowler, bowl your 4 overs and go hide at third man. Because with the shots the players are playing, the ball will come to you wherever you are. And 1 run, 2 runs makes a big difference to a game.
How often do you regret the fact that your fielding was so popular that Rhodes, the plucky batsman, was underrated and rarely talked about?
Well, there have been so many hundreds of players who've had a career of 11 years that people can't even remember. So I'm grateful that people still talk about my fielding. If they didn't talk about me at all, I certainly wouldn't be here in a business environment because there would be no need for my brand association.
So does Jonty Rhodes plan to write a book on art of fielding?
No, because Jonty Rhodes' fielding was a lot of guesswork and just diving around. From the days that I grew up playing tennis, playing football, playing hockey, all those sports were, I never had a fielding coach, so all those sports certainly helped my fielding. But we do a Jonty's way coaching in India, and we have various academies where I go to some of the state teams and work with young kids, ladies teams, the stateside and the 19 teams. So there certainly is a way to field like Jonty, even in India when the fields are hard.
Okay. So with the day and night tests around the corner, what do you think, how different it would be to field under lights as compared to the ODIs in the tests?
Well, I think the colour of the ball makes it, a big issue. So you can't use a red ball at night because it's a bit dark. So that'll be the key, what colour, because some of the fields especially when you're fielding on the boundary, some places are a little bit dark, but I don't think that the fielding will be too heavily impacted playing under lights.
Okay. So the last one now. You have been working closely with Sachin for Mumbai Indians. So he's now approaching 40 years. So currently hit a century also. So what do you think, how his body is shaping right now?
Well, we've just played the Champions League in South Africa, where Sachin didn't get past 30, past 20 as an opening batsman. But we did all the team battled in a different condition, which is why we didn't have a successful tournament. But he and I worked a lot with a tennis ball. I would serve a tennis ball at him with Dinesh Karthik, Pereira, Raidu, all those players. And Sachin was by way ahead of all of them with his technique. He saw the ball, he left it. His technique was perfect. So I think why Sachin has been so consistent is that he's not a hit and miss player. He plays good cricket shots, and I think he's also he knows what his body requires. I think that's the only reason why he's got this far. As a 39-year-old, he's still playing great cricket because he's looked after himself, and he trains really, really hard. He's always in the gym, and it might not be lifting weights, but he's using rubber bands, he's stretching with the physio and the fitness trainer, and working really, really hard. As hard as the younger guys in the nets, if not even harder.
Any message for the budding cricketers and the cricket fans out there?
Yeah, I think for budding cricketers, there's no secret to being successful. There is no shortcut. It requires hard work. But if you're enjoying what you're doing, that never seems like hard work. I think the fielding, for me, people would say, "Gee, Jonty, did you work hard at your fielding?" And I would say, "No, never." Whereas if you ask my teammates, they would say, yes, he was there for hours working on his fielding. But it never seemed like work to me. I was really enjoying it. And I think that's a key for any success in any environment, in sport and even in the corporate environment. If you're enjoying what you're doing, it never seems like hard work.
Okay, thanks a lot.
My pleasure.
Yeah.